Hello, my name is Gabriel Valdez. I am in CUL 142. Today for my final project, I'll be making chicken over rice with a chicken sauce over it with some steamed vegetables on the side. My protein for the meal is going to be chicken, my starch is going to be rice, and my sauce element is going to be a chicken sauce. Finally, my vegetables are just going to be some mixed veggies from a freezer. Here's an overlay of my ingredients. We have my chicken, stock for my rice and chicken, some butter for the sauce, my mixed vegetables that I'm going to be making in my microwave, some seasonings for the chicken, my rice, and finally some flour for my sauce. The first thing I would like to talk about is each heat source I'll be using for my food. The first heat source for my chicken breast, I'll be using a cast iron pan and a gas stove to heat and cook my food. The cast iron skillet is my choice of cooking because the heat from the gas stove is distributed evenly and it runs hotter. When hot, I will add oil to my pan so that when I cook my chicken, it will not stick to the pan. It does not stick because the heat makes the food release water when the oil is added, and it acts as a bind and keeps the food above the oil. I will cook my chicken for about 8 minutes in total. I'm going to now turn on my pan. Got a fire going on my pan now. The next food item is rice. I will boil water first and then then when the water is boiled, I will add my rice to the pot and turn down the heat and let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Water boils because atoms or molecules of a liquid are able to spread out enough to change from a liquid phase to a gaseous phase. Bubbles form and a boiling occurs. Then after boiling, I will put my rice and cover the pot with a lid, causing steam to build up and cook the rice even more. I now have my rice water boiling and I'm going to wait until it comes to a boil. Now that my pan is getting hot enough, I am now going to spray it with the cooking oil. I will now be adding my chicken stock to the oil. Now that my water is boiling for my rice, I will now add my rice into the pot. Once the rice is added, you want to lower your heat to a low and bring it to a simmer. And also you want to cover the rice. I will now set a timer for 20 minutes to let my rice simmer. I am now heating my chicken stock because I am gonna poach my chicken and it's gonna help cook the chicken. Poaching is a moist heat method of cooking by submerging food in some kind of liquid and heating at a low temperature. I will now be adding my chicken to my broth. The chicken is gonna get some flavoring from the broth, but most of my seasoning is gonna come from the sauce that I'm gonna make. I will be poaching my chicken from 8 to 10 minutes. I put it in, and I will now cover it with my lid. Once covering my chicken, I am now going to lower the heat to a low and let it simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes. Gas is not being released, so it is being trapped inside, causing the heat to stay inside and causing it to cook my chicken. The second to last form of heat I will be using will be done in the microwave. I will put my veggies in the bag in the microwave and then put them in the microwave for about 6 minutes. In the microwave, the heat causes the water molecules in the food to vibrate, producing heat that cooks the food. It also uses radiation. I will now close my door to my microwave and set it for 6 minutes. My chicken is now poaching. Halfway through the cooking time, I am going to flip it so it can cook evenly. My rice is almost done cooking. It is about halfway through. One thing I have noticed, it is vibrating a lot because of the heat. It is being trapped inside there, so it is bouncing around and trying to escape. But that is good for my rice because it is causing it to cook. Also, it is just about time to flip my chicken. I will now be flipping my chicken. Flip. And I will now cover it with the lid again. My chicken is almost done poaching. When it's done, I am going to remove my chicken and I'm going to remove my broth and put it in the glass container. And I will be using this pan to make my sauce. My steamed veggies are now done. I will now remove them from the package and put them in its own bowl and top them off with a little bit of butter. My chicken is done poaching. I will now remove it and put it on a plate and preserve my chicken broth. This is what my chicken looks like after it's poached. I have my broth right here that I'm going to use with my sauce, and I will now add some butter to my pan for my sauce. I have now started the sauce process. I have put my butter in my pan and I have raised the heat slightly to help cook my sauce. My sauce is going to be butter based. It will be cooked in a cast iron pan as well. The first element being cooked is butter. You brown it. This is known as Maillard's reaction, a chemical reaction between the amino acids reducing sugars that gives brown food its distinctive flavor. I'm going to now be adding my flour. I'm going to start with a tablespoon and then I'm going to go from there. If I need to add more, I will add more. I'm now browning my flour. I'm going to keep whisking so I can prevent it from burning. I'm going to be adding my broth to my sauce. My rice is now done. I will turn off the heat and let it cool, but it's still going to be cooking even when I turn down the heat. I am now going to add Dijon mustard and my seasonings to my sauce for flavoring. Now that my seasonings are added, I'm going to add my chicken back in, turn off the heat, and let my chicken absorb all the flavors. My chicken is now added. I am going to turn off the heat and cover it and let the juices absorb. Now that my vegetables are in this pot, I will add a little thing of butter and salt and pepper for flavoring. Here is the rice all done. It is very hot because the steam is being released. Now that everything is done, I plated and now I'm ready to eat. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed.